Hello, it's Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with not only an unboxing but also a review. This is going to be the review of the Lamy Studio Aquamarine, which is a 2019 special edition colour. I'm doing an unboxing simply because I know quite a few people will be looking out for this pen if they haven't already decided to buy one. It's been around for a month or two now. I'm shooting this video in September 2019, so I know that a lot of the retailers like Goulet Pens and many of the other ones have had this in stock, or at least they are promoting it quite heavily. I've been using this pen for about a month, and yes, it's as good as all the Lamy Studios, or as bad as all the Lamy Studios, depending on your opinion. But this is my review of the Lamy Studio in the Aquamarine colour. So what I'm going to do, because I've been writing with this pen, I've repackaged it into its original packaging. So you'll see an unboxing. So it's not like I've just unwrapped the pen the first time I've got it and, well, let's just see how it writes. No, this is a proper review. But the unboxing part, so you get this, I don't know, silvery grey plain cardboard sleeve, nothing remarkable. Slip that off and you get your standard Lamy cardboard box with the Lamy logo on. Yeah, unassuming box, but it's not bad to get one with a pen this price. And it's a flip top. The sort of logo is the embossed logo is raised, and that sort of holds this window down in place. So that just lifts up there. This bit lifts off there, and inside you get a Lamy, well, catalogue, fold out catalogue detailing all of the various Lamy pens which are currently available. There you go, and on the back you get various pen filling instructions. Yeah, not a lot to say there, it's self-explanatory. The Lamy Studio, in case you're not aware, is a cartridge converter pen. Now it ships, it's supplied with a, I mean mine came with a blue Lamy cartridge. I don't know whether this pen ever ships with a black cartridge or any other colours, but you always tend to get blue cartridges with Lamy pens these days. The pen sits inside this little sort of flocked cardboard insert, and it's wrapped in this bit of plastic which just slides off. So the pen is there. There we go. This is the Lamy Studio Aquamarine. Now, I don't know how long these pens are going to be around for. These special edition pens, they're not limited edition, special edition pens usually come out in a colour scheme or a couple of colour schemes each year, and quite honestly they only ever seem to be around for less than a year. So this was released back in probably July 2019, so still plenty of time to buy this pen if you're interested in buying one. If you're going to hold out, yeah, I should imagine they're probably going to be big sellers at Christmas. So if you're after one of these pens for Christmas, for a present or just for yourself, then yeah, I should imagine you'll be alright finding one of these pens up until Christmas. Into 2020, less likely to be able to find one. So yeah, it's a lovely, lovely colour. I'm just going to turn off the light on the camera so you can see it under reasonable incandescent light, and it is still an attractive colour. The finish seems to be powder coated. I don't know about the durability of this finish, to be honest. I'm just going to turn the camera light back on. I don't know about the durability of this this finish. I have a Lamy Studio in the black matte finish, and pop off the cap, and the pen posts, but where it's posted, it started to chip away at the finish. So I mean, I don't write with these pens posted, and you know, it's one of those things that doesn't do it for me. But be aware that you may, I'm not about to risk it with this pen, but you may potentially damage the finish of the pen where the metal edge of the cap scrapes onto the barrel of the pen up here. So, Lamy Studio has the Lamy logo just in sort of grey finish up there near the finial at the top of the cap. Now it's a mirror polish on the cap finial with the very distinctive Lamy Studio clip with this sort of propeller shape. Some people like it, some people don't. Personally, I do like it. I think it's an interesting design and it's quite functional. It's a little bit sort of bulky, but you know, it's quite a stiff clip and it slides on and off easily because it's got this rounded end there. So that is basically the pen. It's your flat-ended sort of torpedo shape. There is, yeah, visible bit of the section in silver just between, because the cap doesn't quite meet with the barrel of the pen. It's this lovely blue finish. Would I call it aquamarine? No, I wouldn't. I know a fair bit about gemstones and mineralogy, and no, it's not an aquamarine colour. It's a little bit too blue. It's quite a, it's hard to describe. It's almost a teal blue, which, to be absolutely honest, I really like it, because for me it's a unisex pen. If it was perhaps a little bit turquoisey, more of an aquamarine colour, I'd potentially say that it may be aimed more towards the, dare I say it, and don't lambast me for this, the female end of the market. Please don't comment in the comments. But that's just my opinion of the lighter blues. As it stands, I think that this is a masculine enough colour for male fountain pen users, but still pretty enough and attractive enough for all you ladies out there. So I do like it. The finish is matte. It's, I suppose, a little bit slippery. It's not like a terracotta type finish. It's not going to set your teeth on edge when you're holding it. Can you hear it? Yeah, it's not smooth. It's certainly not gloss. So very attractive with a silver sort of mirror polish finial at the end there. Cap pops off in the usual Lamy Studio style. Nice mechanism there, and you are presented, when you uncap it, with the typical Lamy Studio metal section with a high gloss polished finish, which some people do find to be quite slippery. If you've got greasy hands, sweaty hands, you know, and it's hot, there is a possibility that your fingers are going to slide down this section in use, and some people do not like the Studio for that reason. Personally, I don't know, my fingers tend to be quite dry. I don't have this slippage problem with any of the shiny Lamy Studio sections. The nib in this pen is your usual Lamy winged nib, plastic feed under there, steel nib, and this is a broad nib. I've chosen the broad because I do quite like the broad nib, broad Lamy nibs. barrel on screws, and yes, there's a cartridge in there, obviously, which you can exchange for a converter at additional cost to be able to use bottled ink. I am going to give you a quick heads up on the converters. I can't remember the name of the converter, I think it's Z28, which fits the pen, don't quote me on that. I'm not a fan of Lamy converters for various issues, and I will be shooting a video about why I really dislike the Lamy converters fairly soon. So please hit the subscribe button to be notified of when my next videos and that particular video goes live, because I have got a bit of a gripe with Lamy about those. For any of you who have seen my Lamy 2000 review, which I put out this week, if you've watched that all the way through, you'll know that I'm a massive Lamy fan, mainly because their customer service actually got me hooked on these pens. So yeah, I love the pens, love the brand. There are issues, and the converters is for me one of the biggest gripes, so that video is upcoming. So all I do with my Lamy pens now is I don't use the converters. I just simply use Lamy cartridges when they're empty, clean them out with an ink syringe, water and all the rest, and refill them with whatever ink I damn well please, so I can use any ink in the Lamy pen then. So there we go. The pen is quite comfortable to hold, unposted for me. I've got reasonably large hands and it's a good length. It's a nice weight. It's not too heavy for an all metal pen. Obviously you can post it. I don't like posting it, and yeah, it's not a very satisfying experience. You have to really push down on the thing, and I'm not about to do that and damage this finish. So let's do a writing sample. Rhodia pad. Let's get this all set up. I've been doing some ink notes on here. Right, so here we go. Lamy Studio. And this is the Aquamarine. And this is with a broad nib, as I've already stated. So, see that okay? The ink is Lamy Blue. I'm using a standard Lamy Blue cartridge in this pen. With this broad nib, it's going to really get through the ink, and then I'll refill it with a different colour. So I'll probably choose something that really does match the pen. So, writing sample. I mean, for a broad nib, I wouldn't have said that this was especially broad. Medium wetness, and it certainly lays down ink well enough. And of course, in true Lamy Studio style, there's no issues with the feed, and it just keeps up. So no hard starts, certainly no skipping, things like that. It just writes and writes and writes. I will say one thing about the Lamy Studio nibs. The nibs are mass produced and they're all tested before they leave the factory. This is always why you end up with a small amount of blue ink in the end of your pen. So it's always worth, whenever you buy a brand new Lamy pen, give it a flush before you insert any cartridge, because it's going to probably have dried up a bit in the nib and the feed. And it'll ensure a better writing experience if you do that. So give them a clean before you use them. The Lamy nibs are a little bit hit and miss. I have had Lamy Studios, I've got several of these. Some of my Lamy Studios have been absolutely fine straight out of the box. This pen, I've done absolutely nothing to the nib and it's been absolutely tip-top out of the box. But I have had one that was scratchy. It needed a little bit of work. It needed slight tine alignment, and it also needed a little bit of smoothing on 12,000 grit wet and dry paper, and then it writes fine. Happy with that. But you know, these are mass produced, and as such you can't expect the quality control to be perfect. Some people I know have tried Lamy pens, especially when you buy a Lamy Safari, you know, one of the cheapest fountain pens that Lamy produces, and you know, those nibs uses the same nib as this. Some people have said, you know what, everyone raves about the Lamy Safari, I bought one, can't stand the nib, it's scratchy, it's dry, it skips, it's awful. So, you know, bear in mind that the nibs can be hit and miss. This nib, I mean, I say it writes perfectly well out of the box. It does for me, but there are some angles where it's not 100%. I'm trying to find... There is a little bit of scratchiness if I slightly rotate the pen off centre. Yeah, it's just tad scratchy, but you know, right with the pen in normal orientation, and it's smooth and good and lovely. I did have a Lamy Studio in Imperial Blue that was a little bit scratchy on the sort of this stroke here in this direction, and I wrote with the pen for, I don't know, about a week, and just suddenly there must have been a tiny burr on the tipping material, and the pen suddenly wrote really well. So, you know, bear in mind, sometimes these pens do need a tiny amount of breaking in if they're not quite, you know, 100% perfect, but this pen, absolutely fine, smooth as anything out of the box. I would say that this nib, because I have other Lamy Studios in broad and other Lamy All-Stars and Safaris with the same broad nib, this seems just a tad on the finer side. This is more of a medium broad. Yeah, it's one of those things. Looking at it now, I'm actually thinking, you know what, I've got a I think recently I did a review of the Lamy Ion, and that had a broad nib, and that was, in fact, looking at it, yeah, definitely much broader than this broad nib in this pen. So, I'm not going to dwell too much on that, but there is my review of the Lamy Studio Aquamarine with a broad nib, with Lamy Blue ink. Do I recommend this pen? Yes, I like the Studio. In fact, I'd go as far to say as I love it. For the price, if you're going to buy mid-range Lamy, and you don't want to stump up the price of a Lamy 2000, this is a good one. I prefer it to the Studio simply because it's not got quite a wider grip on the section. It's the Studio is certainly narrower, and I find it more comfortable, but it's slippery for some people, so do bear that in mind. If you collect the Lamy Studios, then the Aquamarine version for 2019 it's a pretty much must-have. It's a very nice colour. It's not over the top, it's quite understated, it's metallic, it's a lovely colour. It's a nice alternate to the Imperial Blue, which is obviously a much darker navy blue, but still a very nice colour. This is very attractive. So if you're thinking of buying one, now is the time. I'd get one in the run up to Christmas, because you never know, after Christmas you might not see this in 2020, or you might find that it's only available with a very limited number of nib options. Nibs available tend to be fine, no, extra fine, fine, medium and broad, depending on the retailer. So I'd advise you to buy it sometime within the next 3 months to be certain of getting hold of one of these pens in this very, very attractive colour. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like, give us a thumbs up, because I give this pen a thumbs up. It's a good pen. And also, if you want to see more of this type of video and all my other fountain pen related videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It'll really help me out, because, you know, it's quite easy to sort of go, well, I'm producing this content because I enjoy doing it, but sometimes you think, well, is anyone actually really interested in watching them? So it really helps me out if you hit the subscribe button. So I'll see you next time, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.